Testing. I am home. I am home. I have traveled far along this road, and now I'm home. Shalom. Shalom. In the love of God, I am home. I am home. I am home. I have traveled far along this road, and now I'm home. Shalom. Shalom. In the love of God, I am home.
Good morning and welcome to Unity, spirituality with open hearts and open minds. Let us open this service with the lighting of the Christ candle, which reminds us of the divine presence within each and every one and in our shared world. Those of you at home, please feel free to light your candles as well as you unite with us across time and space in the realm of heart and spirit here. Come light, light of God, give light to creation, enlighten our hearts and remain with your world. Come light, light of God, give light to creation, enlighten our hearts and remain with your world. And who are we? We are an authentic, transformative, spiritual community centered in God. We co-create a world that works for all. And as we prepare to sing our chant, Breathe Through Me is going to be our chant this morning. We want to open this service with holding all kinds of our beloveds near and dear in heart this day, and see them sitting in our midst and in the circle of our loving embrace. Our wonderful musical director, Clara, had a medical procedure done on Friday and had some unexpected complications and had to have more procedures done. She is home and doing better, but isn't here this morning, and so we have our wonderful Diane and Trudy and Glenn who've stepped up. Yay! So we're going to have fabulous music today. I love synchronicity because Diane and Trudy were already going to be doing music with Clara today, and so Glenn came to join. So we are grateful for that. So we send special blessings to Clara and her husband Steve, who is still recovering from a shoulder surgery that did not go well. He has fractures, so they're having to wait, and then they're going to have to redo his shoulder with a different surgery. So that's the latest with Steve, who we've been praying for. Nancheska is still in St. Michael's Hospital with limited visitors down in Silverdale. They did put her pacemaker in this week, but they're still monitoring her heart to make sure she's stable before they transfer her, probably, I would think, to a rehab unit to regain her strength. So Clara and Steve and Francesca. And then this morning, I got an email from Claudia, and our beloved Tom Drake is ill. He asked for prayers for healing, which is not something he does a lot. He felt like he had a classic flu, but it got worse, and just before we gathered for service, we got an email that she took him to the emergency room this morning. And he's dehydrated, and he's got a respiratory infection, and his electrolytes are off, which happens, and so they are monitoring him, and they're going to transfer him probably, I would imagine, down to St. Michael's would be my guess, just so they can monitor and take care of him even better. So prayers for Tom Drake, and prayers for Claudia, because as we know, when one of our beloveds is ill, we all respond and feel that. And I bring love from Lori and Janet, who I visited this week. Lori at her apartment and Janet at Life Care, and I took Janet some flowers and a card from everyone. And Ida is at home recovering from shingles. So she was maybe going to come this morning, but hi, Ida, you're here on Zoom. I sent her the Zoom link. She was having trouble getting in, so this morning I sent her the Zoom link. And Sarah Nash is recovering from multiple health things, including an infection. So we have a lot going on right now. Tomorrow is a full moon and a super moon and a blue moon. So if your life feels a little crazy right now, it is. The energies are just wild right now, but we have wonderful news, which, look, our beloved Bianca is back for her first day after her complete ankle replacement. She's got her boot and her cart, and I have such personal empathy with that. So we're so glad you're out and about. That feels so wonderful when you can finally get back out into the world. And it's a beautiful day to welcome you back, not only to Unity, but out to the community as well. So with all of those catch-ups, see, the place is filled by the time you count everybody in the hospital or who's home sick. And so I invite you now to stand, and we're going to change the music up a little bit. It's not going to be what's on here because since Clara's not able to play, but we've got things that you are familiar with that Diane and Trudy came up with, knowing these would be familiar songs for you. So Breathe Through Me is our opening.
And listen for my my prompt before the next verses. Okay? Breathe through me, breathe through me. Oh, blessed Spirit, breathe through me, breathe through me, breathe through me. Oh, blessed Spirit, breathe through me. Live through me, live for me. Oh, blessed Spirit, live through me, live through me, live through me. Oh, blessed Spirit, live through me. Speak through me, speak through me. Oh, blessed Spirit, speak through me, speak through me, speak through me. Oh, blessed Spirit, speak through me. Think through me, think through me. Oh, blessed Spirit, think through me, think through me, think through me. Oh, blessed Spirit, think through me. Feel through me, feel through me. Oh, blessed Spirit, feel through me, feel through me, feel through me. Oh, blessed Spirit, feel through me. Sing through me, sing through me. Oh, blessed Spirit, sing through me, sing through me, sing through me. Oh, blessed Spirit, sing through me. Good job.
Oh, please be seated.
Did anybody get a chance this morning to go outside and just smell how clean this air was? Wasn't that just beautiful? I was thinking last night I must have transported back to Kansas or something, because that was a Midwestern storm we had. We don't usually get that on this side of the mountains. And speaking of Midwestern storm, somebody has parked their silver green Subaru right in the fire lane here. So if that's you, you can do one of two things: not respond and get it after church and hope nobody comes by. Hope we don't have a fire. I don't expect that. Or move it. All three things are possible. But there is a fire lane there. Just be conscious of it. The signs are pushed back a little bit towards the building. So anyway, I gotta keep that open. So today is ask for what you need and give what you can. We're in the middle of the 7 whispers. This is number 5. And I've been following this through the medicine wheel. And the medicine wheel has the 4 cardinal directions. So we went from the east to the south to the west and into the north. So we've been following this whispers through that. And then we deviate, because the medicine wheel just has the 4 cardinal directions and this, of course, the center. But we have Father Sky, Mother Earth, and then the center is right here. So today would be Father Sky. And Father Sky is the masculine energy of the divine, could be here. And Mother Earth is the female energy here. And it's the connection of these two that we live, move, and have our being right in the middle of. Almost all indigenous cosmologies have this differentiation between Father Sky and Mother Earth across the planet. And what Father Sky represents is the home of the Great Spirit. Where else would God rest except up in that amazing thing that doesn't seem to have limits? The energy of Father Sky, the masculine energy of Father Sky, provides the energy, the physical energy, that makes Mother Earth come to life. Mother Earth without the sun would be a pretty dark planet. Mother Earth without water would be a pretty dry planet. So you can kind of go through the whole thing. So these people would pray to Father Sky about, oh, Father Sky, Great Spirit, bring us rain for our crops. Bring us sun for our crops. Help us have a good hunt today. And whatever it may be that the tribe or the group or the person needs. We'll be going through that kind of prayer process. But what's really interesting is all of that usually is done in some kind of ritual. A dance, songs, stories. So in all the legends that are told by the indigenous folks are these elements. And after this supplication, Great Spirit, help me, is a statement of appreciation. Thank you, Great Spirit, for all that's come already. And I'm going to share that through me with all my other kinfolk out here. It's just like the Unity 5-step prayer process. The 5th step is to give thanks and release. Now, today is ask for what you need and give what you can. And it's in the giving that opens up the portal for the receiving. I once had a prosperity class, and the guy drew a picture of a bathtub. And if you fill the bathtub full and put the stopper in and leave the water on, it just kind of spills over the edge, but the water inside is stagnant. It's when you pull the stopper out that the water can flow, and all this new stuff can come in and then go out to where it needs to go. Same thing with us. If we get and don't give, we end up with the same thing. We become stagnant, metaphysically, emotionally, and otherwise. So anyway, Father Sky, this energy is what we're talking about here today. And so we go through the medicine wheel, and then we drop into the north, or the nighttime. And I think that is the place, quite frankly, where, for me, put it this way, where I can really feel my smallness. When you look up at the night sky, there's no boundaries to it. It's just this vastness of stars or dark. And that's a place of great contemplation, and it's no wonder that that's where the time that we spend time in story and in song and in contemplation and meditation. It's the place where we can really feel that presence of spirit and understand that it has no bounds. When I was growing up, one of the things in my early years that I always thought about is looking at the sky. I was a Boy Scout, so we got to go camping a lot outside. Well, what holds the universe together, right? If they have this Big Bang theory, what did the Big Bang bang into, right? What's the containment vessel? And it was, I don't know, probably about 8 or 10 years ago, I finally came to the conclusion that's spirit, God. The containment vessel for all of manifestation is something greater than the manifestation itself. And there's only one word that I've got for that, and that happens to be God. So it was, I look at the night sky, I do that with a whole lot of appreciation. I think I told you once I was out on a sailboat across the Pacific, no moon, just stars. And we were just ghosting along, hardly enough to do anything with the boat. And when you can't see land, the horizon is exactly the same 360 degrees. So it's like being in a bowl, a shallow dish. So you're on the deck of this boat, and it looks like you're looking up to the horizon. There's this kind of an illusion that comes through it. And so I'm in this dish watching the constellations cruise across the skyline. It was the most magical place. And in those moments, with the rhythmic movement of the boat up and down, you could feel God breathe. It was, I could still feel it. It was amazing. I spent the whole night on deck. Then I had to go and take watch for the next 6 hours. It was a long day. Back to the other part of reality. And that brings us to today's the daily word, wholeness, oneness, or oneness with spirit. As a divine being, I am whole. I know that I am whole, wondrously made, and uniquely expression of the divine. But I cannot truly know wholeness if I become distracted by the experiences of illness or thoughts of lack or limitations. I do not resist limiting thoughts. Instead, I let the light of the divine understanding dissolve the darkness of spiritual ignorance. Let me read that again. I do not resist limiting thoughts. Instead, I let the light of divine understanding dissolve the darkness of spiritual ignorance. remembering that divine life lives as me, through me. I affirm my body's wholeness even if I'm experiencing illness. My growing awareness of the limitations, the limitless flow of divine ideas reminds me I have all I need to experience a joyous and abundant life. As I say yes again and again to my true spiritual nature, my life becomes an ever-folding demonstration of wholeness, demonstration of the divine within. And from Luke, if then your whole body is full of light, with no part in darkness, it will be as full of light as when a lamp gives you light with its rays. Luke 11:36. As a divine being, I am whole. And that is so, and so it is. You know.
To settle in together into prayer and meditation, where in the midst of this sanctuary we each journey into the sanctuary that we carry within at the core of our being, that secret place of the Most High where we touch the presence of the divine and that presence touches us. Let us settle in as we use sanctuary to carry us deep within, and then we'll use it at the end to bring us back out with the oneness between inner and outer realms in which they always and ever abide.
Love, prepare me to be a sanctuary, open-hearted, tried and true, with thanksgiving. I am a living sanctuary for you. Love, prepare me to be a sanctuary, open-hearted, tried and true, with thanksgiving. I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
And so settle in now and allow Spirit to gift you with your own inner sanctuary. It may be a place you've visited, it may be a place imagined, it may be indoors, it may be outdoors, it may be near, it may be far. But open now to take a moment in silence and stillness to let Spirit gift you with a place, with a feeling, with a remembrance, in a way that touches you at depth. Let Spirit now invite you into your own most sacred place. Be aware of all of the feelings that this place brings forth, physically with your 5 senses, perception-wise with your mind, compassion and unconditional love centered in your heart. And the wisdom of your soul in the divine. Allow this place to speak to you, to sing to you. Allow it to share why it has manifested for you in this moment. Open to receive the gifts that it brings at every level of being, body, mind, heart, and soul. Let your beingness sing with gratitude for this divine awareness. And on the wings born of thankfulness, take the energy that is you, that has been blessed in this place, and open in willingness to be the presence of the divine in our shared world, in small and large ways, in ways you've experienced before and in new ways that come as inspiration. Open to be a willing channel to share your blessings, your gifts that you uniquely offer the world through conscious, random acts of kindness each day. Open to see your life truly as soul journey, beyond the mundane, everyday experiences, and yet in filling those experiences with the presence of Spirit. Bring your life exactly as it is and you exactly as you are into this moment. And allow the words of Donna Markova to bless you, to inspire you, to be a remembrance of the beauty of your soul and the importance of your presence in our world. I will not die an unlived life. I will not live in fear of falling or catching fire. I choose to inhabit my days, to allow my living to open me, to make me less afraid, more accessible, to loosen my heart until it becomes a wing, a torch, a promise. I choose to risk my significance, to live so that that which came to me as seed goes on to the next as blossom, and that which came to me as blossom goes on as fruit. May we each add our presence, our willingness, our unconditional love and grace to the flow of the world and our lives. And so we do this space of prayer and meditation, knowing that this is where it all begins, at a level of soul with rededication to living the truth, but speaking the truth always with love. Gather near and dear now all of the prayers that are yours this day. And in this sacred space surrounded by kindred souls, release these prayers into the divine presence and open to receive their unfoldings that have already begun before you even frame the words. The divine is responding. Let us so pray, silently or aloud, however each is guided. Unity of poured down the Son, for all the people that word meaning. We unite these prayers with all of those entrusted to our High Watch prayer chaplains. And this day we hold especially near and dear Tom Drake and his beloved Claudia, Clara and Steve, Nancheska, Ida, Sarah, Lori, Janet, and any others who ask this day for prayers from this spiritual family. Spirit transcends time and space and words, and so know that we hear your call and we respond with loving prayer and presence. We unite also with all this day who pray for peace in our community, in our nation, in our shared world, and in the realms beyond. So gather your life once again as it is, and you exactly as you are, with a renewed awareness of how much you are loved and treasured on this journey of life. Let us open in willingness to live the presence where we truly are sanctuaries for one another and for our world. Receive a final inspiration from Donna Markova as we prepare to link inner and outer in the absolute oneness in which they abide. Let us swing wide all the doors and windows of our hearts on their rusty hinges, so that we may learn how to open in love. Let us see the light in the other and honor it, so that we may lift one another on our shoulders and carry each other along. Let holiness move in us, so we may pay attention to its small voice and give ourselves fully with both hands. And so we go forth renewed, restored, and rededicated to the path of living, loving light. And we seal this time as we allow our inner sanctuary to gently fade, as we begin to return to this outer sanctuary we are blessed to share. But as that inner sanctuary fades, know it is there for your return at any moment. It is a breath, a thought, a feeling, a prayer away. And so feel its presence settle in at depth, there to welcome you whenever you need to call upon it or desire to abide in this place of presence. Oh, for this time we are so grateful, and we link inner and outer once again with sanctuary.
Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, open-hearted, tried and true, with thanksgiving. I am a living sanctuary for you. Love, prepare me to be a sanctuary, open-hearted, tried and true, with thanksgiving. I am a living sanctuary for you.
And so it is, Om, Amen, and blessed be. Namaste. I behold the divine light in each and every one of you. And now a gift of special music, Empty Hands with Diane and Trudy and Glenn.
When my hands were emptied, when my hope was gone, I couldn't help but wonder, what had I done wrong? Even though my heart was broken, there was no need to despair, 'cause a vessel must be open to put something better there. Oh yeah. Into my empty hands, gently you pour new life for me. Yours is a perfect plan. The ups and the downs were meant to be. Now I understand you needed my empty hands. So forgive me when I doubted. Sometimes I do, or consider giving up, 'cause I cannot see the truth. I know I'll never go without it. Your deep and abiding love, oh love. Into my empty hands, gently you poured new life for me. Yours is the perfect plan. The ups and the downs were meant to be. Now I understand you needed my empty hands. Gently you pour new life for me. Yours is the perfect ups and the downs were meant to be. And I cannot help but cry to think of the gifts you've given me. Now I understand you needed my empty hands. Oh, thank you for my Thank you for my whoa, whoa. Thank you for my empty hands.
Oh, woo, woo, yeah, go ahead, woo. Oh, that was beautiful. I love that. So often we think of empty hands as not holding anything. Instead, it holds everything. Hands that are open, hearts that are open, minds that are open. Oh, and when we're open to that flow of the universe, we abide in divine presence, and we can do what the Whisper Today calls us to do, which is ask for what you need and offer what you can. Ask and offer. Being in that divine flow. We started with maintain peace of mind, and then move to the pace of guidance, and then practice certainty of purpose, and then surrender to surprise, which was last week's. And then now that you've opened to surprise, ask for what you need and offer what you can. In that field of peace and conscious choice and movement, of certainty of purpose, where you've decided what you really are about, and then to leap into life, being willing to realize it's not going to unfold exactly as you plan, no matter how deeply you plan. In fact, the more attached to plans I am, the more it tends to come apart. Keeping me humble and present in the moment, because that happens when the plans you've made don't go the way you think. You're having to be like a GPS system, recalculating where you are. And so this is about living that presence of divine flow. And I love that it's ask and it's also offer. For some of it's easier to offer, and we're frequently the ones that are of service a lot. There are others who find it easier to ask for what they need. We tend to be better at one or the other. Our soul growth lies in whichever one isn't quite as natural to us. For me, I know offering what I can has always been what I've led with. It began with my covenant with my brother when I was 2.5 years old, that I was going to do a life of service. And it expressed in different ways as a special ed teacher, as a nurse, as a case manager, as a hospital chaplain, and then as a unity minister. But it was all that same thing. But my soul growth has been to open to receive as well, to ask. And that was lived this year when I did my annual word that was paid, and I broke my leg the day after I told you all that. And I had to pace my life differently. I still have to do it a little bit, but I'm doing miraculously well, thanks to all of your prayers. But one of the beautiful things was to be able to ask for support and prayer and love and food and I was so touched and humbled and honored that you all, I trust you so much, I could ask. And then open to receive. And I even let a number of you, when you brought food, come in and see me in bed with no makeup on and my leg up on pillows. That's unconditional love and acceptance when a woman lets you do that. So it's about how we're interconnected. There's a famous passage from John Donne. No man is an island entire of itself. Every man is a piece of the continent, a part of the main. If a clod be washed away by the sea, Europe is the less. Little things make a difference. There's a famous saying that when a butterfly flaps its wings off the coast of Maine, the tides in the ocean change off of Africa. We're all interconnected, not only in big ways that we're more aware of now. We have the internet, for good or for bad. We've got the internet that is connecting us on the earth, and I believe it's a reflection also of Indra's web, the net that is the night sky, that they say that it's where the webs of creation cross is where you see the starlight. And so the night sky holds us in Indra's web of creation and life. We're all part of this one whole. And then on the earth, we've created an internet that you can talk to someone all the way around the world. You can research things. Remember as kids, you had to go to the library to work on a research project and look through the little index cards in the drawer and then go find the books? I still personally love to do that. But we have the option. When I'm working on a talk or a class, I'm amazed at the research I can do and the things that are available. And it can connect us in ways that can be positive and change the world. It helps us realize we have far more in common than we have different if we're willing to see it and use it that way. It's all about reciprocity and the flow of life. She says if we pay attention, we discover we cannot give without receiving. We cannot receive without giving. Asking, offering, giving, receiving is one circular motion. If we don't ask for what we need, if we don't offer what we can block the dance. Reciprocity is dependent on unceasing exchange, the dance of life. In Anne Morrow Lindbergh's Gift from the Sea, she speaks about relationships, and she uses this analogy of dance. And it's one that Lane and I used in our wedding, and I've used in a number of weddings. People tend to love it for that. But it's not just about romantic relationships. It's about relationships in general. And it's about how when you're doing a dance, you're moving in response to another person. There was a book that came out years ago when I was doing my work with Al-Anon that was how you were in a dance with that partner, and if one of you changed the rhythm of the dance, the other one had to change as well or dance away. And that was a wonderful analogy that really helped me. And I went back and I got the book that Mom gave me when I went off to college, pulled a little book off my bookshelf, and here's the passage. A good relationship has a pattern like a dance. Now arm in arm, now face to face, now back to back. It does not matter because they move to the same rhythm, creating a pattern together and being invisibly nourished by it. Isn't that beautiful? Being invisibly nourished by it. Dance is connected to the flow of music. I believe music is a wonderful link to the realm of spirit. Words are a little more rigid and boxy. Music takes words and adds another level. Simon used to say something that I loved, which is, if you pray as a chant, you're praying twice. Once with the words and once with the music. And so that dance image is one that I absolutely loved. She says, only spiritual trade creates flow. As long as energy is flowing and cyclical, there is enough to go around. If any one of us stops asking or stops offering, the flow is disrupted and the balance is destroyed. It's that need to be in constant communion. There's a wonderful Dead Sea analogy. The Sea of Galilee and the Dead Sea are made of the same water. It flows down clear and cool from the heights of Hermon and the roots of the cedars of Lebanon. The Sea of Galilee has an outlet. It gets to give. It gathers in its riches that it may pour them out again to fertilize the Jordan plain. But the Dead Sea with the same water makes horror. For if the Dead Sea has no outlet, it gets to keep. That difference of being open to the flow is such an important part of life. She took a trip to Africa and met with some African women, and we say, we're happy to be poor in Africa that we might teach the world how to be rich in spirit. It's gone on for too long. We're all in it. What are you going to do to make a difference? To be aware that our embodiment is our spirituality. They're not separate. One without the other is incomplete and not fully alive. It's like the Dead Sea instead of the Sea of Galilee. And we're called to be like the Master with the Sea of Galilee, where we trust the flow of things to come and go. And I had an interesting experience this last week. In fact, got it confirmed last night, came to this singing bowl bath, which is wonderful. I love it when Michelle does that. And what happened was last week I went into Abracadabra to get a couple of cards for people, for the congregation who were ill and various things. And in there, I happened to look in the case and I saw these cute earrings that were really inexpensive, and they've got owls on them. So 2 owls. And I was like, as soon as I saw them, I went, oh, my owl totem. Because this year, I've been connecting with owl energy in a way I never have before. I did a depth meditation soul process with my massage therapist. And she took me through this meditation, and what showed up in it was an owl. I was expecting hawk. I've always been connected with hawks. That's my totem from the medicine wheel, is hawk. Teresa and I are hawk sisters. And so hawks I've always been around, and they're connections to God that communicate back and forth between the world and spirit. But this sweet owl showed up. And by the end of we were ending the process, it told me its name. And it says my name is Windlemoss. Windlemoss. Windlemass. It's the one that rides the sacred wind. And I was like, oh, I would never have made that name up. Windlemoss. I had to write it down right away when I finished so I wouldn't forget it. So Windlemoss brought me the wisdom that day that you've called to carry my people in your heart, but you don't have to physically carry all of them on your back, which is part of my soul growth. And that opened me up to being able to ask, not only for myself, but that we are a spiritual community. All of you have gifts to share, and I have been moved at how all of you move forward and offer what you can when there's someone in need, not only in this spiritual family, but in our community. And so Windelmoss, and I saw these earrings, and it made me remember Windelmoss, who shows up fairly frequently. And I thought, oh, I'm going to get these earrings in honor of Windelmoss. So I did. I was wearing them yesterday, and I came to the sound bath. And during the sound bath, as we settled in at depth, this little pressure came right on my chest and just kind of did this. I could feel it moving. And I realized it was an owl essence that had come. And I went, oh, Windelmoss. And it was yes. And I went, oh, because I had asked to be refilled and met on the journey with everything that's going on with so many people, that I could be present with them and also call upon all of you to be present as well, that we do this together. And so Windelmoss returned to kind of remind me. And then the most amazing thing happened, which is why the ask and the offer wove together in ways that just amazed me, which is years ago when we were still in Texas, so it's 23 years ago, 25 years ago. Lane and I lived in a circle on Oak Forest Drive. And as you went out, you'd go over a bridge, and it was a wooded area near the lake outside of Dallas. And we were pulling out from the house, going across the bridge over the little creek amid all the trees, and we heard a thud on the side of the car. And so we stopped, and I got out, and there on the ground was a little owl. Oh, and I'm like, oh, please don't die. And I got down on the ground, and I just surrounded it with light and love and peace and healing. And it looked at me and kind of blinked, but it was kind of in shock. And so I had Lane go back to the house and get a cat cage. And we got the little bird and this precious owl, and I will never forget scooping it up gently. I told him what I was going to do, and I said, this is what I'm doing. Please accept this. And I scooped it up, and I held it, and I put it gently in the little blanket. And as I moved it, it was the most amazing feeling. They're light as air because they're all fluff. They've got little tiny bones, and it was just fluff. It was like a living dandelion. And it looked at me, and I looked at it, and I placed it in there, and we called, and we had to drive it all the way across Dallas to the bird rescue. She took it in, and we stayed in touch, and she said, I'll call you when I've rehabbed it enough for it to go back home, because we can release it out here in South Dallas, or you can release it where you found it. And I said, well, of course I've got to get him home. I can't let him, he had a hard enough time flying along the creek. I don't want him to have to fly all the way across Dallas to find home. So Lane and I got in the car, and we drive all the way back, and we bring this little owl home. And we wait until sunset, and it's dusk, which is my favorite time of day anyway. But the time that the owls fly. And so we got it, and I looked at him, and we gently put him on the ground, and he shook and kind of looked around and then took off and flew up into a tree where he stopped, turned around, and looked at Lane and I. And we just said, blessings, dear one. And off the owl went. And occasionally I would hear it with that hoot in the distance, particularly at dusk or night. And I just sent it blessings again. I hadn't thought about that experience for years. As that owl sat on my chest last night with the singing bowls playing, it said, that was me. When I returned to spirit, I wanted to come and abide a bit with you for your kindness. I was in tears. I'm like, oh, Windelboss, now I know who you are. And that happened because I offered help when it was needed, unattached to how it would play out over the years. And yet last night when I asked, that presence came back again, bringing its gifts and its peace. That's the way life works for us. When we do acts of kindness, we send them out, and we don't know how they're going to come back around through that web of life in all kinds of interesting ways to return. But it always does. Acts of kindness return to you as kindness for you when you're in need or when you ask. And so it's a willingness to give and a willingness to receive. But if we're conscious about it, it works so much better. If you can, remember to ask. Don't be afraid to ask. It's actually a kindness to another when you ask, because it's such a blessing to serve. And to not allow someone else to serve is an unkindness. And so to ask, I've learned, is a deep kindness. To offer is a deep kindness. Not to demand that they accept what you're offering exactly the way you want to offer it, because unconditional love is offering, but allowing the other person to receive how and when they can. In Ephesians 4, each of us was given grace to the measure of Christ's gifts. But speaking the truth in love, we must grow in every way into Him who is the head, unto the Christ, from whom the whole body is joined and knit together, building itself up in love. Remembering that offering what you can and asking for what you need is consciously being aware of the flow of the divine that you're living in. Annie Dillard says, how we spend our days is how we spend our lives. So the question this week with ask and offer is, how do you want to spend your time and your energy in your life? What guides the choices of what you offer and what you ask for? Do you truly trust that seek ye first the kingdom, and then all else will be added unto you? A Course in Love puts it this way: in your relationship to God, who is your being, you can know relationship to everything, because in this one relationship, you are in relationship with all. Unity is oneness of being. Relationship is different expressions of oneness of being. And yet you are not being called to create as you have been, but rather to create as you truly are being. You are called to nothing short of creating a new heaven and a new earth. Through asking and offering, we can be in holy relationship, H-O-L-Y and W-H-O-L-Y. Complete relationship in a sacred way where each one of us is part of a greater whole and yet honored as the individual spark that we are. So you've got your spiritual toolkit card for the day. This week it's bright green. All of the ones, this is week 5, 1 through 4 are out in the lobby if you don't have all of them yet. And this is a card to take home to integrate what we talked about this morning. It's got the theme, it's got some of the important quotes, and it's got a commitment. Sitting silence at least 15 minutes, both in the morning and evening. We've been doing that part every week. But meditate on how you want to spend your waking hours each day, and meditate on what guides your choices. So at the beginning of the day, 15 minutes this week, and think how I spend this day is how I spend my life, energy, and time. What do I choose and why? And you may find that you're doubly committed to the intention you set forth for the day. It may be something completely new, open to be surprised at what comes, but open to recognize the importance of your energy, not only for your own soul growth, but for all of us in the world. Let us pray. Oh, sweet Spirit, abiding presence of the divine. In you we live, move, and have our being. Let us remember the words from Donna Markova. Let us not die an unlived life. Let us open, loosening our hearts until they become wings, torches, and promises to share. Let us open all the doors and windows of our hearts on their rusty hinges, that we may show love, be love, express love, and receive love. May holiness move in us in ways large and small, as we open in willingness to ask and to offer, knowing that both of those are spiritual practices of depth of being, of trust in the grace of the presence of the divine, this day and always. And so it is. Om, amen, and blessed be. And so now I invite you to stand. We're going to sing, He's Got the Whole World in His Hands. And as we sing this, I've got the little bitty owl in my hands. I got the itty bitty owl in my hands. Because we hold the world, each other, and everything in our hands.
He's got the whole wide world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the tiny little bowl in his hands. He's got the tiny little owl in his hands. He's got the tiny little owl in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the wind and the rain in his hands. He's got the wind and the rain in his hands. He's got the wind and the rain in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got my body and my soul in his hands. He's got my body and my soul in his hands. He's got my body and my soul in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got you and me, brother, in his hands. He's got you and me, sister, in his hands. He's got you and me, brother, everybody here. In his hands, he's got the whole world in his hands. He's the whole wide world. In his hands, he's got the whole wide world. In his hands, he's got the whole wide world. In his hands, he's got the whole world in his hands.
Oh, woo! Please be seated.
Much appreciated you guys showing up and doing this for us. It's just great. Yeah. So, talk about owls. Now's the time in our service we receive the offering. Figure that one out, huh? So, I invite you to take out your offering as we do here each week, and we will bless it like we bless the owl. And all of us and all of you, for this blessing is really about you. And it's about that flow we talked about. Ask and receive, give and release. So, together, divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am grateful.
God's love
Is deep within me.
ever satisfying my soul. God's love is deep within me, ever satisfying my soul. God's love is deep within me, ever satisfying my soul. God's life is deep within me, ever satisfying my soul. God's light is deep within me, ever satisfying my soul. God's light is deep within me, ever satisfying my soul. Ever satisfying my soul.
So true. Ever satisfying my soul. Thank you, sweet Spirit, for the life you are within me, the life you are within each one of us, the light that you placed within us to shine out to the rest of us. What a blessing. We receive these gifts and send that blessing forward to our community, the greater community, and across the planet, that each person may find that spark, that light, and shine it. Grow it, be it, express it, and in doing that, create heaven on earth. And let us do that in our lifetime. And so it is. Amen.
Amen.
Whoops.
Okay.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay, so we got some announcements. First of all, I want to thank all of the people that responded to the call out last week or the week before about goodies and greeters and all those kinds of things. It's really, I mean, the list got all filled up. It was just wonderful, and this table is abundant today. I'll tell you, we've got abundance. So don't go home hungry. Let's see here. We've got Sharon holding the high watch, and she's available for personal affirmative prayer following service, should you so choose. In addition, the prayer box is back in the sanctuary. Your prayer requests will be held for a week by the church and on to Silent Unity. And so take advantage of those. There's a good way to release that you want to release and to affirm that you want to affirm. And we have just a ton of things coming up in September. Pam's class continues on Thursday, 2 to 4. So if you want to drop in, either physically.
It's a little like we're up to week 6 of 7. The Enchanted Map.
So you're going till when? Two
The
more
end
weeks?
of August, 2
And
more weeks.
2 more
yeah.
weeks. So here's your chance. So you've got 2 more weeks to show up. And there's the Zoom link on the website.
Yes.
The Richard Russell Group is coming back, that all world one fusion, and they'll be here September 1st. And Beverly's got tickets, or you can get them get them off of the website as well. But yeah, it's a great concert. It was a really good concert last time. Then we got all sorts of stuff happening later on. We got a potluck out at the Sea Dog Farm. We've got a Sunday service on the 22nd of September at Sea Dog Farm, which is going to be great. And then again in October, there's another event. So look for those as we get closer to that. Last time I was in Unity Village, this last spring, I went to Unity Church North, Kansas City North. Reverend Randy is just a wonderful, wonderful individual, wonderful speaker, and there's just this great energy around this place. So that's where my friend Floyd takes me, and it's really good. Anyway, so at that service, there was a guy named Brian Lotman. And Brian was guided and he'll probably tell us the story because he's coming here, leading up to him coming. Brian will tell you probably the story, but he sat at the feet of a guru and worked on his consciousness. And he worked on his consciousness, and he worked on his consciousness, and he worked on his consciousness. And one day his guru said, go. I want you to just go out and be conscious and let whatever happens, happen. So I think he got a Volkswagen bus, and he did that. And he's been on the road now for, I don't know how many years. I wasn't paying a whole lot of attention to that part of it, but he is just this wonderfully enlightened individual who speaks only from his heart. And after service, I said, hey, if you ever get to the Northwest, we live in a little teeny spot in the corner of the Olympic Peninsula, and we would love to have you stop by. Well, as you got to plant those seeds, right? Ask for it, and what happens? He calls up and says, hey, I'm on my way. He'll be here September 29th. So, and he will be here to give not only his talk, as well as a workshop, or something's coming up with that. He's working on that. But I say this, but I really don't want you to miss it. This guy he's funny, he's real, and he totally is just like this giant heart that's speaking with a little voice. It's really cool. So, and he is going to be in the area for 3 days, which means if anybody's got a spare room or wants to host this guy, we need to do that, because he comes, he gets $100 for coming and giving a talk and whatever he can get in the afternoon for a love offering. So he's just out to the world. It's just this amazing character, and he's been doing this for umpty years. I mean, he's been for a while. So think about it. If you've got a spare room or a little ADU or something like that, we'll see what we can do for him. He does have his own wheels, by the way, so he's able to get around. And he's just a delight. And then, in the end of October, or towards the end of October, Christina Baldwin, The Seven Whispers, is coming. So, and these are for sale, by the way. Would you? $15. So, if you want to pick one of those up, that'd be a good thing.
They're out of print right now, so they're very hard to find. So Christina sent these over to us from Whitby. So they're here in the basket, ready for you to take home and treasure for years to come.
Could be a collector's item. There we go. I think with that, let's form a circle here around the perimeter. Welcome back, Bianca. Thank you. we are blessed to have you in the house.
I'd offer room, but
Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be with God as Creator. United all are we. Yes, we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. With every breath I take, yes, this is my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me.
And we know the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Fly into the world blessed and blessing. Woo!
Have a great week, everybody. Huh? Did they move it? I don't know. I don't think so. I didn't see anybody get out.